I could probably just get in there with him. Now, sometimes he'll let me ride him. I don't know. He's kind of calmed down a little bit. Let me see if he'll let me. And if he doesn't, then we'll just, nope. He already knows I said ride. I believe they do understand certain words that we call, because when in the morning, even though his name is Wildfire, we call him Billy Bob. I'll just get out there and say, come on, Billy, and he'll come running. So he knows that, come on, Billy. When he was a baby, I had to talk to him in his language to get him to come up to the area where we were, because it's 100 acres, so if he's out doing something playing and I'm not there, for him to know that I'm there to feed him, then he'll hear me call him. He's, I hope he doesn't get any bigger than this, because it's just, I think he's big enough, don't you? Yeah. Any questions on him? Surely you should have some kind of questions. Native Americans hunted these animals, but would only take what they needed. From this animal, you could get everything you need to live. Everything. From clothing, housing, shoes, bedding, blankets, pillows, anything you could think of that you could put on, you can get from this animal. Do you think you could get jewelry from this animal? Yeah. What part of that animal do you think we would use for the jewelry?
Bones.
Bones, exactly. Tomorrow I'm going to have a little setup, and you can look after we do some of our music and dance. You can look and see some of the things that we had made from animals. Everything on the table I did make, including there'll be jackets, there's going to be jewelry, there's going to be rattles, and of course we'll have the drum because we're going to use that for our dance. And so anything you could think of. So we've got music, jewelry, and then everything you need to live. So they were pretty much handy. We also hunted deer and elk, and we also hunted coyote. We hunted any kind of animal that was big enough that you could either eat, because sometimes you could not find food. Sometimes it got scarce, and you just have to get what you can get. We did eat squirrel. How many have eaten squirrel here? Anybody? Pretty good, isn't it? We also ate turtle. So we find a turtle, we would eat the turtle also. We have different clans in our group, because when I was born, my name is Guadagnoli. That's all the names we get, one name only. And with that, you'd have to know who my family was. You know who your family is by your last name. So we had the clans, and I was Turtle Clan. So whenever I dressed, or if I was on the reserve, I would always have something on me that had my clan, either a turtle or earrings or jewelry. We have 300 members in my family alone. So if I was out on the reserve, and when families get big, sometimes you don't meet your relatives right away. So if a turtle gentleman wanted to ask me out, and he saw I was wearing a turtle, of course he's not going to ask me, because he's going to know somewhere down the line we're family. We always marry outside of our clans, and no matter what clan you want to marry, the man becomes the woman's clan. Because in our society, the women are the rulers. The women tell what the rules and laws are going to be on our reserves. It is still like that today. Even though we have a chief, the women are the ones that make the rules and how the villages or the area, right now, how our city is going to be run. That's a little bit about native, what we do in our reserve. We do have buildings like you do. Like if you drove down the reserve, you'd see a school like this, hospitals like you have. You'd see log homes, brick homes, trailers, all just like your neighborhood. You would think you were just going through a regular neighborhood. You wouldn't realize it was a native village. We do have a cultural center that has our longhouses, because we had longhouses, not teepees. And we actually have standing longhouses that would have looked like what you would have seen if you were a pilgrim coming across into the east. We are the Northeast Woodland Indians. Cherokee are part of the Iroquois. We are an Iroquois nation. There were 5 nations under the Iroquois. Cherokee was one of them. And when
there's a lot of Cherokee right here.
Right.
This group.
Right. So you see, we would have been brothers or sisters because you were part of our Iroquois nation. The difference is, in 1824, the other 5 nations, which would have been Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, Oneida, and Mohawk, lived in Kentucky. We signed our treaties in the 1800s and moved most north into New York. We wound up with 9 million acres there. And then all of a sudden, when more people came, we wound up in Canada. Our tribes, the 5 tribes, were the only 5 tribes in all of history that 90% of our people escaped into the Canadas. So we were not on the Trail of Tears going to this reservation. This reservation was deeded back to us from King Louis VII, who was French, because it's French up there. And because while we were there, we joined them to fight against the English when they were trying to get more properties. So at that time, which would have been in the late 1800s to the early 1900s, we wound up, they won the line, or whatever they call like the border now, the border. And so King Louis said, because you helped us in this battle, that you can have the land that you are on now, which was our hunting grounds before anybody came over. There's a lot of history to it, and a lot of things that happened in between the United States and Canada. But the United States still recognizes us as tribes from here, so if something major comes up, then they will intervene, because we are not governed by Quebec, Canada, where Montreal is. We have our own little country. So we have our own court system, we have our own police, we have everything, fire, everything is like just ours. So we are like a country within a country. And that's just a little bit about that. But this guy here, they were roaming the plains for way before humans got here, because don't forget, 10 million, that's pretty much a lot. And then it gets down to 20,000. And right now I have one of the 580,000 right here. He, again, like I said, he was raised with horses, so he's pretty much calm. You can do mostly anything with him, but if he's not in the mood, you have to read the body language. My husband, my dad, and me, and my son, and some of the people that are on the farm, he doesn't mind them. They can get right in there and do some work on fencing, or whatever they have to do, and he'll more or less just come up and smell them. He might lick them, and then he just goes back to whatever he was doing. All right, guys, come on. There must have been something you wanted to know. Either about native or
We
buffalo.
have to go here in just a minute.
Can I ride him?
No.